Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're flying to the Netherlands Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam specifically. The airport is very clean, very well laid out, and is about 30 minutes from the city center. We made it through customs in about 15 minutes and we were on our way. The native language here is Dutch, but there are English signs everywhere. Later I found out why there are so many electric cars. It is $2.20 per liter and a liter is 3.8 liters, make up 1 gallon, so it's kind of pricey. As usual, we're going to give you a street level view as we walk a whole bunch of this city. We're going to explore the city a little bit as we make our way to what Amsterdam is known for, which is its canals. On our way there, we saw a peaceful protest. Amsterdam sits 6.6 feet or 2 meters below sea level. The city is built on soft peat and clay to stay above seawater. I'm sure you've seen all the bicycles. We're going to talk more about that later. In just over a mile and a half, we have reached our next destination.
Amsterdam has over 165 canals. You can travel over 60 miles without leaving the city limits or cruising the same canal twice. As you could imagine, this 1-hour cruise would be impossible for us to explore everything, but we did get to see some highlights. On average, the canals are about 8.5 feet deep. Every year, 13,000 to 15,000 bicycles are removed from these canals. I guess that's not a surprise because there is over 880,000 bicycles, which is more than one per resident. The boats you're seeing now are actual residences with mailing addresses. The way the real estate works is you purchase the area and you can put whatever boat you want on it. These square floating homes are nicknamed shoeboxes. It's very rare that in the winter the canals completely freeze over, but that did happen in 2021. You can't just live anywhere on the canal. Most of the spots have been passed down through family generations. You have to spend hundreds and thousands of euros to secure a location. This black houseboat address was over 2 million euros. Although the water is murky, apparently the canals are actually pretty clean as they're regularly flushed to maintain cleanliness. It might be hard to notice, but every single building along the canal is tilted. The reason for this is the entire city was built on unstable swamp ground. This building is one of the hotels directly on the canals. The waterway takes you through all areas and districts. Just like most cities, the cost of living is high, so a lot of people that work here live on the outskirts. Some of these buildings are thin and tall because your property was taxed based on the width of the property. The cruise was amazing. We're off to the next adventure.
Today we're going to take a day trip out to Holland. Of course you can't go to the Netherlands and not see the vintage windmills. We were crossing this bridge when the alarm went off and we had to sprint to the other side because it was opening up for the ship.
And here we have this nice historical shopping street from 200 years ago. And then we're heading towards first the cheese factory and then the wooden shoes factory. And then there I will let you go and eventually we'll meet up by the Zaanse Museum. I will show you again once we're there.
The area that we're in now is pronounced Hoogzaakmolen. We cross over a couple of canals to make the short walk to the cheese factory. We wanted to get a front row seat to get an explanation of the process of making the cheese.
Henry Village. The gentleman is the founder for our company, that's why the name Henry Village. So all the cheese that you want to see later on, we make them ourselves according to our own family recipe. We're specialized in Gouda cheese, or Gouda as they call me Dutch, and we have different varieties. At the moment, later on, you're going to see that we have something like...
As you explore the shop, you'll notice there's well over 100 flavors for you to sample. We got some of the smoked cow cheese. Next, we made our way over to the clog factory. The Dutch wooden clogs, also known as klampen, date back to the early 13th century. They were initially designed to protect the feet of farmers, fishermen, and other laborers. Let's have a look at the manufacturing process. Stain and paint, and then you're done. Now let's walk over and take a closer look at the vintage windmills. Because they don't really use these windmills for power anymore, they refer to them as the historic windmills. There are two categories of windmills. There are polder mills, which are used for pumping water to drain the land, and industrial mills used for various purposes. We are now on the Afsluitdijk. This road was built in the middle of the ocean to separate the Wadden Sea from the Netherlands. The dike was completed in 1932, so it's been protecting the Netherlands from the sea for over 90 years now. Like I mentioned before, since the Netherlands is below sea level, they needed this dike to protect from flooding. The road stretches 20 miles long and is constantly under construction to be reinforced. Back on the road for about a 45-minute ride to visit a village called Giethoorn. As you could guess, the main transportation here is canals.
Unreachable by car. You have to either go over by those bridges, which are privately built.
This is a northeastern Dutch province of Overijssel. We stopped into one of their more popular restaurants. Population is relatively low as there's only about 2,800 people who reside here. Notice the roofs. These are thatch roof houses and they're centuries old. Some people refer to this place as the Venice of the Netherlands as it has over 180 bridges. If you visit Amsterdam, it's definitely worth a visit to this peaceful place. We're here off-peak, but during the summer it's very popular. Homes like this are rented out and people enjoy the water for weeks. You can rent a boat without a driver's license here, so the guide said that makes for a lot of fun during the summer. So let's talk about these bicycles. You're probably 3 times more likely to get run over by a bicycle than a car because they are everywhere. Whether it's the road, the bike path, or the sidewalks, they're everywhere. The Netherlands are known for its tulips and flowers. This is the world's only floating flower market. The displays up front are on dry land, but once you walk inside, that is a shop that is floating on the canal. This definitely was a long day. We walked almost 9.7 miles. Here, the value menu is called the Smart Menu. This was Amber's favorite car while we were here. If you're still here, as usual, I'd like to say thanks for watching, but this is just the first leg of multiple cities and 3 different countries. You may want to stay tuned because next we're heading to Germany and then Belgium after that. So smash the like button and see you again real soon.